Hey, what's up, podcast? It's Jeff, and you are listening to a special bonus episode of Teach Better Talk. This is audio pulled from one of our daily drop-ins. That's right, daily drop-ins are back every day, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Friday at 8:30 a.m. Eastern Time over on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, and YouTube. This is happening from November 23rd all the way to December 18th, so join us on any of the social media platforms. We are at Teach Better Team for our daily drop-ins. We're here to support you, answering questions, talking about fun stuff, bringing on special guests, anything you need, we're here for you. Join us for the daily drop-ins. Let's get into this special bonus episode. Enjoy.
Good morning, everyone! Yay! Happy daily drop-in! We are getting started this morning with the incredible Katelynn Giordano, which Katelynn, you're a major factor in why I knew my day was going to be good. We're going to get into this in just a second. Everyone pop in the comments and share that you're here, share your questions. You know that Katelynn and I are going to be acting kind of goofy, but it's because we love each other. We haven't caught up in a while, so let's get started. Katelynn, are you ready for this daily drop-in?
I'm so excited just because I get to hang out with you for a little while, Rae.
I'm so stoked. I was looking at my calendar this morning and I'm like, hold up, friends. Not only do I need to get up for the daily drop-in tomorrow morning, but Katelynn Giordano is joining us. What is going on? Katelynn, if our network has not, I don't know how they don't know you, but we'll just pretend like it's the first time logging onto social media, first time interacting with the team. And they're like, wow, Katelynn Giordano, like she is so cool, but I don't know anything about her. Like, what's the deal? What's your story?
My story. Oh my gosh. Long, harrowing. No, I'm just kidding.
You are like a superwoman. Yes, all that's true.
I am Katelynn Giordano. I am a 6th grade teacher. I teach English and social studies. I have been teaching for a while now, gone through a ton of different changes in my philosophy and my practice, and love sharing that with everyone else. Really just enjoy like talking to people. The human story that's my thing. I love hearing people. I love talking to people. I love getting to know and help people. So that was what ended up drawing me to you, Rae, which then ended up drawing me into the Teach Better team, was just this idea that I wanted to do more, that I wanted to help more. And yeah, here we are.
I love it. I actually think like if I was to go back, and I know this isn't necessarily a typical daily drop-in like reminiscing story, but I think if I was to go back, I think you and I have known each other the longest. Like I've known you longer than anyone else on the Teach Better team.
Yeah.
And we just consistently for years kept bumping into each other at conferences. I'd be like, oh, there's that girl that I've seen like every year at this event. Like you and I just constantly were in the same Illinois middle school educator circles. And finally, I think we just hit a point where I was like, hey, I just think because we're always in the same room, we should be like friends. That's just kind of what I'm
pretty much. I mean, and that's like, it's so funny because we would just see each other all the time and it would be like, hey, I know you. Like, hey, I know you. And then eventually, like, I watched your career start to blow up and I was like, oh my God, I know her.
Little did I know, though, that you are not only a good person just to like know in education, but that you like consistently push the bar, which is one of my favorite reasons of why I love being friends with you, because truly, like as a friend, as a person, you're incredible. But if I need like a hard conversation, if I need someone to challenge my thinking and work harder to tell me I'm wrong than anything else, I call you. Like I'm just like,
oh my God, I feel the same way. And like you totally push me to be better at all the things. Like it's always like, well, Katelynn, I signed you up to do this thing, just so you know. And I'm like, all right, I guess I got to figure out how to do that thing now.
Okay, so that's true.
It's fantastic though, because that's what makes me better. That's what challenges me and gets me going. And yeah, you also like really like me when I push back at people. So
Ooh, I love it. I do want to talk about all that. I love that so many people are commenting in the chat. It's so good to hear from all of you. If you are listening after we're live, by the way, like as a bonus episode of Teach Better Talk podcast or on YouTube or whatever, please join us live because we are going to take questions. We're maybe going to, tell side stories that maybe aren't interesting to you, but then we also love talking like classroom strategy, grading, and like anything in the classroom is fair game. So if you are watching right now live and you want to participate, if you have a topic that you want Katelynn and I to discuss, we have no plan. The Daily Drop-In is a time that we literally have created as a Teach Better team to serve you. So if you woke up this morning and you just want to hear like comedy hour, join in later today for the brain break because David Jeff will be that. But you are here for like, just to get some positivity. That's awesome. If you want to talk instruction, let us know. If you just want to hear updates from the Teach Better team about the Black Friday sale, let us know. So, always game for that. But Katelynn, I do think that there was a shift in our friendship that I always love celebrating because you were already doing incredible things. You were presenting like all over on so many progressive ideas. And then you're like, I just want to do more. And I'm like, I have this really small little role that you could take on the Teach Better team if you're looking. You're like, what's it like? I'm like, I don't know. It's like blogging kind of like maybe it's something you'd be interested in. And then like, what was it? Like 4 days later, you were running the entire Teach Better team blog department. That's kind of how it went. Don't you think?
Oh my God, that's exactly how it went. You asked me what my hopes and dreams were. I told you I had no idea, but I wanted to do more. And you were like, okay, well, maybe you could write for the blog. And I was like, all right. And then like, I agreed. I was like, sure, I'll send you a post. I sent you a post and then like legitimately the next day you're like, how would you feel about running the blog? And I was like, yes.
Yeah. I just want the team to know though that first off, this comment is awesome. Thought Comedy Hour was reserved for Dave Schmitto and Jeff Gargas. Yes, that is happening later today on the weekly brain break that they do. So don't worry. We know we're not as funny, so we get it. But I do think it's funny because when we started connecting and actually like working together, you are somebody that I love being in conversations with because you and I both get into conversations with Jeff Gargas simply to disagree with him. And I really enjoy that because Jeff will be
it's
like,
great.
I have this great idea, or let's do something huge for our network. And we're like, let's change it because it was Jeff's idea. Hold on.
Or Jeff being like, so we need people to like go manage this project. And I'm like, okay, well, as long as you're not managing me, like I'm cool. Like
it's true. Who is your favorite person on the team to manage you in a project? Is that like a thing? Like
to manage me in a project? It's totally you, Rae. Mainly because I don't know about the project until I have to go do it. And then you're like, hey, go do this thing. And I'm like, okay.
Yeah, I would say like there's nobody who manages you on projects because either somebody tricks you into doing it and then you're your boss. Like that's why we call you boss lady because we're like, if Katelynn does it, then no one really needs to do it besides Katelynn. Just check.
Just put on my list and we're cool.
We have a very important question here that I haven't read yet, but it looked long and it was from Dave. So it's like a very important instructional question. Do you want to read this one out loud and then we can like get started in this like very serious questioning style?
Absolutely. So Dave has a question. And that's how he started it. I have a question. Imagine a scenario where teachers, admin, parents, and students all see something differently. Been there. How do we decide how to proceed?
Can we really quick round of applause for Dave for asking a serious question? We got 8 minutes into Daily Drop-In. Thanks, Dave. Great job getting us on track. We appreciate you with your serious questions. So have you ever been in an instance where teachers, admin, parents, and students all see something differently, and so you need to like kind of make a call on how to move forward?
Yeah, so not necessarily in the role of like having to make a call, so to speak, but in the regards of like my own classroom and having, especially right now with like distance learning and things like that, everybody is kind of viewing this in a different way and everybody is kind of seeing this differently. Everyone is seeing different challenges, different sides of it because it is so regimented. There are so many different sides to see. So I feel like that's like the perfect example to kind of use here is this distance learning, remote learning, whatever you call it, how everybody is experiencing and viewing this. And I feel like the most important piece of deciding how to proceed is first figuring out where everybody is. And you know that everybody is seeing it differently, but I'm not in the parent perspective. I'm not in the student perspective. I'm not in the admin perspective. I am a single role on this list of many people involved in this entire scenario. So it's important for me and anyone else in this situation to make sure that you are asking people, like, what are your struggles right now? What is going on with you right now? What can I help you with? And really trying to see and empathize and sympathize with the people who are in these different places, who are experiencing this differently, because that's when we can start to kind of tailor what we're going to do or keep those different pieces in mind as we do decide how to proceed, as we do decide what we're going to do next.
It's interesting, Katelynn, your approach is really to hear all the voices in the room before you make the next step. My response, I think, I've just realized I'm wrong because obviously you're right all the time. I think what I was envisioning would be then the second step. So you first need to figure out, with all these perspectives, where they're coming from, what their concerns are, what their opinions are. And then my suggestion would be you need to all agree on a purpose, a why, and intentionality before you're able to then figure out the what. And I know that Lindsay Titus talked about that a lot with our own lives yesterday. If you guys missed that daily drop-in, Lindsay Titus joined us. We talked a lot about like self-care, teacher care, making good decisions to support our own mental health. And I think this approach of knowing the why before you go into the what and the how is so important in this process. But you can't know the why if you don't know all the perspectives in the room. So I think that you have to first allow people to share their voice before you can get on the same page. I think that's actually one of the biggest hurdles I see. People that try and get to the why before they hear everyone's voices, you end up not agreeing on the why, and it takes twice as long. Have you ever seen that before?
Oh, definitely. Especially when you're dealing with high emotions in a situation like that, you end up skipping that important step of seeing all these different perspectives and inviting people to share their experiences with you. Because while that probably isn't going to be the best and the most comfortable conversation to sit in, because you're likely going to have to face something that you did that didn't work for someone or something that happened that wasn't great, you are likely going to have to sit in that discomfort. But when you do that, you can come back and do something more effectively. You can be better. You can address the issues, the concerns, the constraints that you have after getting those perspectives and figuring out what is going on with everybody.
So I want to get into this actually a little bit more, but I want to see, there's been a lot of comments with also suggestions adding to this conversation. Eric says, find the commonalities of all the stakeholders. And I think that this kind of goes along with what we were saying. He says, build on this data-driven decisions. So it's kind of like finding common ground and then moving forward together, which I think we're trying to establish by identifying that why.
Definitely.
Dave says, you're so smart. Well, obviously. Recognizing perspective is a big part of this. I completely agree. That's a great question. I think the scenario would indicate that we don't have common tool of viewing. Okay, so that's important. What do you think of that about that? We don't have a common tool of viewing the situation.
So I feel like I can see where that's coming from, because if you are in the classroom teaching remotely or at home teaching remotely, you're viewing it through that lens and that lens specifically, while the kids are seeing it through a completely different lens as they try to learn from home with all the things that are going on with them. Parents are seeing it through a different lens as they try to help their students manage in a completely different way. So I would agree that there isn't necessarily a common experience that's happening. As far as a common tool, though, that's just communication. The tool is communication. You have to get and reach out and make people feel comfortable reaching out to you, providing those avenues for those conversations to happen, encouraging those conversations to happen. So while I would say that there's not a common experience, I think that there is really one tool to jump on, and it is communication. And it's opening those doors and ensuring that people feel comfortable going through them.
So I know it's early, so I'm going to challenge us with this a bit, although I'm reflecting and I'm like, oh, I hope I can handle this early in the morning only on my first cup of coffee. But we're getting a ton of comments on this. Like, people are active. So let's stay in this space for a little bit longer. If you're listening right now, let's do an activity all together, and you're going to put this in the comments. So get your like cursor or whatever in the comments. We're going to type this out. I think that it would be important if we could identify the teacher, student, parent, is that how you would do it? Perspective of remote learning. The student perspective, the teacher perspective, the parent or stakeholder perspective, and I guess we can include leadership perspective. Do you think that would be different than teacher perspective?
Probably.
Okay, so let's do all three. And you can just use like S for student, T for teacher, P for parent, and A for admin. And I would love to hear your perspective in the comments of what you think the perspective is of remote learning, distance learning. And then I think what we have laid out, if I'm correct, Katelynn, is that once we know those voices, once we know those perspectives, the concerns that they carry in this area, then we can formulate a why that hopefully addresses or at least satisfies these areas. And I think the biggest element with that is that as you're identifying your why, it's not that you need to always include all of the voices in the why, but at least you're sharing that you've heard them and that maybe they're going to be addressed in a different way. Remote learning's why may not address all of the concerns that we're going to brainstorm right now, but then we need to create the other supplemental tools that will address it. Katelynn, I don't know about you, but I just had this conversation last night when I was on the phone, literally yesterday afternoon, because I think from my perspective, and I want to clarify that I'm not a parent, but there are some parents who have vocalized to me that their why for remote learning is needing an avenue to like distract and support their child during the day, like babysitting, need I say. So I'm not really going to necessarily address that. But if that's a perspective, I think that's something that has to be addressed then in the implementation plan, in the why, in the supports, because if parents are looking at this as, or if some parents are looking at this as, hey, my kid needs to be entertained for 6 hours of the day, then we want to make sure that we as teachers are at least addressing that need in some way, whether it be by correcting it or, providing different things to support it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, no, I can completely see where you're coming from. And I feel that too, because I know that there is some of that perspective that exists. And there definitely is some of that that's out there. And so I feel like even if you're not necessarily like correcting that notion, but even just addressing it openly and saying like, so here is my role as your child's teacher. Like, right. These are the activities that we have during the day. No, it does not mean your student is going to sit in front of a screen all day long, staring at me, talking to me. What I need from you. And I feel like too, when you address the perspectives, you're also branching into clear expectations. So you can then provide like, okay, so here's what I need from you to ensure that your child is getting this engaging experience, is getting the highest quality instruction and education that they can. Like I can then communicate that with you. Like, here is what I need from you as the parent, as the admin, as the student.
Well, and I think that's important because I love that you said like clear expectations from one another. You can't have clear expectations for any sort of relationship if you don't understand the purpose of what you're doing. And so if remote learning isn't a purpose of something that needs to be addressed in the relationship, there just needs to be a clear expectation, and then also a support, like stretching out your hand saying, well, while this doesn't fix your problem, I'd love to find something that could. And so it doesn't necessarily need to be what you're discussing, but that's like those supplemental elements that you can add in.
Exactly.
I do think that finding those commonalities is important. And one thing I think is easy to address is that it's frustrating no matter where you are in the situation. Because when you can find common ground, it kind of like relaxes everyone, opens your mind a little bit. I think it's good to name the demon. Like, this is frustrating for parents, exactly. Students, everything.
Exactly. I feel like one of the most productive conversations I had led with me being like, this is not what I want to be doing either. Yes. This is not my ideal scenario either. I do not enjoy this format. And even it's almost like clearing the air in a way. Like, yeah. I'm doing everything that I can to work within the constraints that I have, but this isn't what I want either. Right. And I really feel like that kind of gives you that common ground in a way of like clearing the air. Like, I'm not like a happy camper with this either. Like, we are in this together, man. Like, I'm struggling just as much.
Well, and I think that's what Dave's alluding to here. And he's been commenting with such incredible notes already. But this idea of like pivoting, like I really see it as a dance, right? Like when I talk to a parent, I literally just woke up to an email this morning of a parent that wants to meet with me and their child because their child's been struggling. They haven't been in class for like 4 weeks, guys. So like, and they're twins. So I haven't seen either of them in like forever. And so when the parent finally got in contact with me after I've been reaching out, I'm like, oh, thank God. Like, let's just talk. I want to help. And then she emailed me this morning and went to this whole narrative about how dad left, they're getting a divorce, and you're like, I just want to work with you because if we can see this as a partnership, then nothing can can get in our way. Like we can figure this out if we choose to like hold hands and like walk through hard times together. But if we're just going to be like butting up against each other, we'll never be able to like create a dance that works, right?
Absolutely. Like straight up, one of the things that I do with parents, especially if the conversation is difficult, is I verbally like verbalize to them. I say, I want your student to be successful just as much as you do.
Yeah.
That is my goal, is that your student is successful. We both want that. And it's saying those words, I feel like, that just kind of like puts it out there. Like, I am not here as an obstacle to your child's success. I want their success just as much as you do. What can we do to make that happen?
Mm-hmm.
And that's kind of it. Not only like helps them clarify their purpose, but it also, again, puts us in that common footing of we both have the same goal here. What can we do together?
Oh, I love that. We're getting a lot of responses from what we asked our community to do with using A for admin, T for teacher, P for parent, and S for student to kind of share the perspectives that exist right now. We were specifically talking about remote and distance learning. Before we get into those, because I don't really know where these conversations will take us, I do just want to celebrate that Chickpea was in the frame, and I love Chickpea, and I saw her too, and I was like, don't comment, it's fine, don't comment. And Kelsey took care of it.
Yep. Sorry, guys. If I close the door, she screams super loud, like you would all be able to hear her. So I have to leave the door cracked so she can wander in and out just as much as she pleases.
Katelynn, you haven't met Chelsea in person, have you?
No, but I'm like, I love her so much. We just chatted the other day about grades. So
he's like one of my favorite humans to also follow on Instagram because secretly, like, not only do I love so many things, Chelsea, I get so many ideas about my classroom from you, but you also like affirm a lot of my things that I'm doing that I'm like, oh, good, Chelsea's doing that. I agree with that. This is super good for me to just, continue to do these things in these areas. But also secretly, Chelsea is like the cutest stinking family ever. Did you see
yes.
photos?
Yes, so cute. With the cabin. I love the cabin. Obsessed with the cabin. Chelsea, also, yes, I'm a creep. Like, I'm totally admitting that I love looking at your Instagram and your cabin. So keep showing us cute photos of your cute family.
So if this is your first time joining the Teach Better team, I just want to clarify where we're at right now. We're doing the daily drop-in every single morning where we go live. We bring in guests. We just have great conversation. And we move from having really wonderful in-depth evaluations of the why behind what we do to then talking about Chelsea's family and her cute Christmas photos. And that's okay because that's our family. So it's fine.
And also welcome to Katelynn and Rae, just having a random conversation.
Yes, but we're really glad you're here. I love the comments. This is exactly what we wanted. So thank you for jumping in. I'm seeing some people commenting in here, so I want to read these. And then I don't know where we want to go with this, but there is a whole lot of comments that we have yet to get to. So here we go. A, meaning that this is the admin. And this says difficult and it carries a ton of uncertainty. Example, am I doing what is best for kids? So this is kind of like the perspective an administrator is speaking through right now. It seems like a lot of administrators are sharing this idea of, I don't really know what I'm doing. I just want to do well. And it's going like, I don't know if it's going well, but I really want it to be good. And it's really hard right now. Like a lot of uncertainty. Would you agree with that, Katelynn?
Oh, definitely. I do not envy administrators at all because holy cow, you all have so many things that you're managing. And I can only imagine how difficult it must be to make decisions right now with the level of uncertainty, with the level of questioning that you probably do in a normal year, let alone now. So I admire you all so much. And I don't have any like words of wisdom at all for this because I just think that you're all amazing and I don't know how you do it.
No, I mean, the only words of wisdom for any of these groups is to communicate. Stakeholders communicate, students have to communicate, admin has to communicate. But I do see this theme, like just to further emphasize that I agree with this being such a commonality between so many administrators is that the Teach Better team has our admin mastermind that meets twice a day on Tuesday. And it's facilitated by the amazing Teach Better team member, Dave Schmitto. And a lot of the conversation, since we started it back in June, but especially now since it's meeting weekly, twice a week, like this is so common that every time I pop into a mastermind session, it's full of admins just being like, I want to do well, I want to do better, and I don't feel like I'm doing well yet. Can you give me more resources, more ideas of how I can better serve my teachers, my parents, my students? And I really love that even through difficult times, I'm seeing so much perseverance from leadership, which is so exciting.
It is.
Mm-hmm. Oh, this is been there. Teacher says, I'm doing too much and all at the same time, I'm not doing enough. I saw this on Facebook like 2 days ago. There was like a meme going around. Did you see that one?
Oh, yeah.
I think maybe you shared it. Like I saw it from somebody that I was like, yup.
Seriously, like it's, and this is such a struggle right now because we already have this feeling all the time, like I could be doing more,
Yeah.
but now we are doing more than most of us have ever done, and it still doesn't feel like enough. It's such a pervasive feeling, and I can see how much it weighs on all of us, how overwhelming it can feel, because I've been there. Like this whole year, you guys, I have been there, like sitting in this, doing this, just consistently, like trying to figure it out. So,
well, and looking at the admin response and the teacher response, these are very similar. These are two groups so far. And I know we've only gone through two of the like hundreds of comments. We're getting to them. But these are two groups so far that are saying, I want to do really well. And I don't feel like I'm doing good yet. And like, it's this aspiration of wanting to give everything humanly possible, but having it be so difficult to figure out how to do that in a way that is realistic. And so I'm actually seeing commonality between these two answers because these are both people that are, admin and teachers, both people who are trying to serve others well, if that makes sense.
Definitely.
This is a parent one, having to take on the role of a teacher without being trained on that role while still juggling these other jobs on top of new technology for children. Yup.
So I do want to say one thing about this because I feel like I've heard this from a few parents, like I'm having to take on the role of teacher, blah, blah, blah. And I just want to like put this out there to all parents.
Wait,
we don't want you to.
Wait, this is a moment where Katelynn's going to say something that she's nervous because it's like kind of controversial, but she's going to be right. So I just want the world to know. That was Katelynn set up for being like, I'm about to like kind of poke the bear, but it's okay. So just like, don't turn this off yet. Like, it's okay.
Just stay with me for a second, everybody. I promise it'll be okay. I want all parents to hear this.
Wait, did Katelynn, did you just pause for anyone else or just me?
Oh, sorry. My Wi-Fi is.
I know, but it happened at the most perfect time. We're like all at the edge of our seats. I was like, no.
I did on purpose. Don't worry. Just building suspense. I just want all parents to hear this. We don't want you to take on the role of teacher. Don't do that to yourself. We don't want that. We know you're not trained for that. We know that's not in your wheelhouse. We know that you don't have those skills and that you have 100 million other things that you're doing. We don't want you to do that. We are trained for this. We are the professionals in this experience. We do know what we're doing. If you're struggling, if you feel like you have to take that role on, reach out to us because we don't want that for you. We still are going to teach your kids. We're going to do it differently. There are going to be challenges. There are going to be obstacles, but that is what we are here to do. That is what we are trained to do. That is what we want to do. So let us. Please don't take that role on. You don't need it.
No, but that's important. And I think, Katelynn, the only way that you can get to the point where you can even communicate that to families is knowing that they feel this way, which is what this conversation started as. It's like, we need to figure out the why. We need to figure out how to work together. But if you don't know that parents are feeling this way, and this is the perspective they're speaking from, then you can't even get to the point where you can share that and ease some of that tension. So I think the biggest element for me is that communication piece.
It's so true. It is. It's all about the communication.
Yeah. Jody's jumping in, talking about how students are missing face-to-face interaction, longing for like normalcy and routine. I think this is so spot on. I'm seeing this so much with my own students. And I think that knowing that perspective is another element of what needs to drive how you lesson plan, right? Like if you know students are longing for connection, longing for a routine again, then as a teacher, once you know that, you can lesson design to have exceptional routines. You can design activities to create that interactive experience, maybe not face to face, but I think that's all a part of it. Like you don't know what you don't know. And once you know, you can do better. So
definitely. If you open that up, if you ask kids what they need. So an amazing teammate of mine started doing these like weekly check-ins. And so I adopted that because I was like, this is great. And threw a question on the end that's like, what do you need? What do I need to know? That kind of thing. And one week I had all these kids that just said, they were like, I can't do this. It was this overwhelming, like, I don't know how to manage my time. I don't know how to get on top of things. I don't know how to like get this to work. So I literally like threw out my whole lesson plan for the next week. And we did a whole week on accountability, organization, self-care. Like that's all we did for a week. And my kids were like, Ms. G, like this is what we needed to do. Like not only did we get to like share and talk to each other like we were humans, like people, but we talked about strategies. Like it's something simple as turning on do not disturb on their iPads during the school day. Yeah. Like they learned these little tips and tricks. They shared these tips and tricks with each other even. And it was so worthwhile to do that. But had I not asked that question, never would have known.
Well, and I think the important element is not only asking the question, but then doing the work and following up on how that goes after. Because one of the things for me that I noticed that I did with my own kids, meaning that like I'm admitting I totally messed this up, but we handed every student this beautiful schedule that my principal made. And it was like the times for classes, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesdays, different, blah, blah, blah. And we literally made copies as a team. And I'm like, wow, we are really supporting our students. We printed this out and now they know when their classes are. Like pat on the back for me, like I solved the problem of students not knowing when classes are. So then I took my own copy and it's sitting here on my desk, which is why I could pick it up that quickly for this example. And I have not had a single moment yet where I'm like, hold on, when does class end? Wait, hold on. How do I read this? What time? So when do I need to be back? What class is today? And I'm like, oh my God, I am a grown adult struggling with that. This didn't fix the problem for a middle schooler. Like I thought it did, but until I reflect and get feedback to realize it didn't, like don't choose to be ignorant, like constantly reflect and follow up with your audience, whether your audience is parents, admin, students, or educators, constantly follow up to see if something's working. Cause this piece of paper didn't work, I guess is my point.
No, it's true. You can't just get the communication started. You can't just get it. Like you have to do something with it.
What are your thoughts on this one, Katelynn? Andrea's jumping in. For those of you who don't know Andrea is a beautiful part of the Teach Better team. She is a part of leading our ambassador program. So I'm so excited to see what that does in 2021. I feel like there's big dreams going on from Andrea. But she's asking like a super important question, very typical. What do you do like when your students are babysitting their siblings during remote learning? This was something we addressed a lot in the spring. And I'm sorry, I'm just still talking, Katelynn, but I'm frustrated because I feel like we're now choosing to ignore this, in my opinion, in the fall. Like we went from the spring giving everyone grace, feeling, talking about how our students were struggling, talking about how babysitting was going on and all of this stuff. And then I feel like we moved into the fall and we were like, ooh, we have to get into content. So like, let's just ignore that stuff. I don't know if you felt that way, but it's been a frustration. So I'm word vomiting. Sorry.
No, don't be sorry, because I feel the exact same way. Like it is like we had this whole culture of support, this whole like community of what are we going to do for kids? Let's get rid of grades. Let's do all this stuff to make sure that our kids are supported, are okay. Mental health is first. Like we did all of that in the spring and now it's like, okay, normal school, except it's online. Right. Like we have to stop. Like I know you have to teach certain things. I know I'm doing it too. I'm with you.
Yeah.
But get rid of late work policies, give your students all the grace that they need, ask them the questions, make them feel comfortable sharing. If you don't know that this is going on, That is your first problem.
Mhm.
Second of all, if this is going on and you know this student is doing that, you know this student is struggling, you know this student has a million other things that they're doing at home, you have got to modify your approach. You have to. End of story. You cannot expect the same exact thing from every single one of your students. Normally, that would be related to content. We would differentiate our content based on where students are. We would do what we needed to do to support students and meet them where they're at in their learning.
Yeah.
The same thing is true for their circumstances now. It's not just about their learning and the content anymore. We still have to meet them where they are. It's just a different kind of scenario and different kind of circumstance. If your kids are babysitting their students during remote learning, you have to modify what you're doing for that kid.
I couldn't agree more. And we have so many comments that are agreeing with you already. I scrolled down a little bit in the comments and saw another question from Andrea, so I want to throw this one in. She says, what do you do when parents tell you, what do you want me to do about it, when sharing their child is failing multiple classes? So this is a perspective that from a teacher, you're calling up a parent and you're like, hey, your child's really being unsuccessful. And the parent's response is, well, what do you want me to do about it?
Yeah, so this can be really disheartening. It can kind of just hit you right in the gut. So first off, you have to go into this conversation knowing that this is an option, that this is a possibility. Any conversation has that possibility to go that way. So be prepared for that. And when I say be prepared for that, you should have an idea of what you want them to do. You cannot push back at people or tell people that there is a problem if you do not have a solution in mind to fix it. You can't. We
were just talking about this before we came live. This is my favorite thing. Katelynn, you have to repeat that and say it slower because this is the mantra of how I've been feeling all morning. Tell me again.
You can't push back and consistently bring up problems if you do not have a solution to fix them. It's not productive. It's not helpful. If I consistently point out to you that you're doing something wrong, that there is a problem with something, but I never provide you any feedback on how to make it better, I never give you any action steps, any solutions, I'm not helping you. All I'm doing is telling you that you're wrong all the time. All I'm doing is pointing out all the negative things that are going on with you. I'm not actually helping you in any capacity. I have to make sure that if I'm going to call a parent and share with them that there is a problem, that there is an issue, that I have something in mind for how to fix it. Now, we can work together on that. I can have this original idea that I bring up that may not be what we settle on, but I should at least have some action steps for that parent, for that family member, if I'm going to make this phone call.
Yeah, I love the concept of just having an idea, because once you have an idea and you share that, then you can work together to brainstorm, adapt, tweak. But if it's truly like well, I don't know what to do, and you're sitting on the other end of the phone like, oh yeah, me neither, then you're at an impasse. So if you can shift the conversation, and this is similar to what we were saying before, like parents and teachers are like in a marriage, like you're all in it and you got to just figure it out and make it work during hard times or good times. So when you call them up and you have this conversation, rather than getting to the point where you're at an impasse and you say, okay, you're right, there's no solution, we'll just be ticked at each other for a while. If you have an idea and you can shift the conversation to be a brainstorming conversation where you can paint a picture and then adapt, then somebody knows that you're in it to be supportive rather than be judgmental. I think there's a very different culture. When someone comes to me, like my parents who are visiting for Thanksgiving here in a bit, and they start nitpicking on things that they want to see changed, you either need to have a solution or be helpful or accept that change may not occur. And so I think that is true for whether we're in our job, working with colleagues, or, in a social situation. If we can be a brainstorming buddy, the culture of the conversation can be productive. And
exactly.
So I kind of feel like parents that are responding also with the, what do you want me to do about it, don't know their role in the conversation. So if you can also set those clear expectations of what you need from them and what they can expect from you, I think that's also helpful. And I know that's kind of been a theme of what we've been discussing so far, but
definitely. There was a question earlier I kind of want to talk about, if you don't mind. I kind of want to, it's
sure.
up.
We're totally all messed up with all these comments because there's so many flowing through. I can't even get to all of them. So I'm going to look at these in a second, but yes, go crazy.
So Jeff, I can't get it to pull up. I'm sorry, it's not working. But Jeff Kaplan asked, how do we ensure equity with students who are in the classroom and students who are virtual at the same time?
Yes.
So I wanted to address this because this is something that I hear all the time that people have been talking about all the time. This is a place that I legitimately had a super freak out about, because the idea that people are going to be sitting in front of you but also be online at the same time, legit guys, you can't be in two places at once. You can't do it. So my answer to you is to ensure you're giving equitable instruction to both groups is to don't try to teach them at the same time. Now, I know you probably think I'm nuts because how are you going to do that? Go to your old standby of stations. Use the station structure, folks. So I wrote about this a little while ago on my Curriculum Coffee blog because this is what I decided to do. I have a room group and I have a Zoom group. Now I have stations for each one so that I am not trying to split my focus between them while I'm delivering any kind of content instruction. I open the class as a whole group. I close the class as a whole group, but that is the only time that I am addressing both groups at the same time. Other than that, what I'll do in my English class is I have my room group start off with independent reading. We do independent reading every day in my class, 15 minutes, because reading is important. Single best thing that you can do to develop reading skills is have your kids read. So my room group will read for 15 minutes while I'm teaching a lesson to the kids on Zoom. I can be fully present with the kids that are on virtual learning. I can answer any questions that they have. They're not falling through the cracks. I'm giving them my full instructional attention, everything that I can possibly do to engage them. Then the kids on the virtual learning side will do some kind of activity with the mini lesson that I just taught. They'll do it independently or in groups while I'm teaching the lesson to the group that's in my room. I can give my entire attention to the group that's in my room. The kids that are on the virtual learning can get a screen break by stepping away to do the activity. You guys, the station structure is where it's at. It is such a great way to address this issue and make sure that you are not trying to split your focus, because here's the deal. If you do, one of those groups is not going to get your best. One of those groups is going to fall through the cracks. You will not deliver equitable instruction if you try to split your focus. You can't. It's not possible.
I love that you just shared that, because I am not using that strategy. And I love when we disagree on our suggestions. And so this is awesome. I'm trying to figure out where to begin first, Katelynn Giordano. I know. So I agree with you in the sense that I think that I agree. Where do I start? I like that you have come up with a solution where you can give your full attention to the same type of learning group. That makes sense to me. I also really love stations and anything like the workshop model. So I'm a huge fan of teaching something, getting students to do an activity, all that super good. And I am a huge fan of getting students reading, because while I hate reading, I do know it's an important skill. So all that good. I guess my question is, if we're talking about equitable strategies, why teach the instruction live?
No, that's phenomenal and a great point. I highly recommend recording yourself. So when I do teach the lesson to the group that's remote or that's virtual, I record the whole thing. So that way, I can post the recording later, and any student that isn't able to be there live at that time can go back to it. And not only that, but they can also hear the questions of the kids that were virtual. They can hear the types of answers that are given. They can have an involvement, so to speak, in the discussion. Just like people who will come watch this daily drop-in later on, they're able to kind of hear that discussion that happened. They're able to hear those multiple perspectives, those questions that were asked. So yes, definitely record it. I don't record the one that I do with the kids in person. I could record both, but it would be different, and it would be another technology thing to set up.
So can we confirm something really quick? Because I have so many questions, and I know there's so many in the comments, but I'm going to monopolize this conversation for a second. So are you currently in a hybrid model where you teach both groups?
We're not now.
Okay, but before you were teaching in the classroom and teaching students that were fully remote, or just remote because they were on the off day of hybrid?
Both.
Okay. And then what did you do for students who were supposed to be in your classroom but were quarantined? Did you have any students like that? So they were like remote for like 14 days specifically, but technically in the hybrid group.
Yeah, so I did have like a couple of kids like that as well.
And so would they join the fully remote kids?
Correct. So when I created my stations, the reason that I named them Room Group and Zoom Group was
Right.
so it wasn't like, oh, are you a fully remote kid? Here's what you're doing. Are
Yes.
you an only sometimes remote kid? Here's what you're doing. It's literally like, where are you? That's what you're doing.
Oh, I love that, because a lot of my approach was when you're hybrid, I am being able to simply control your learning environment. And that's kind of it. Like, I still operate in my classroom kind of as if we were fully remote the entire time. So my groups were always all together. They were never separated. The only benefit of being hybrid truly was that we could control your learning environment and like your Wi-Fi connection. So for me, I didn't break them up like you did because they were all doing remote instruction anyway. I don't know if that makes sense or not.
No, I understand what you're saying.
Mhm.
I personally have taught in a stations model
Yeah.
always. I always do small group instruction. So having all my kids together on Zoom, like all at once, was different for me because I don't usually do whole class. I typically do small group.
Right.
So putting them into those smaller groups was actually more familiar to me than having all of them as like one whole big group was.
I love it. I think that makes a ton of, I love hearing different perspectives. I love hearing like different ways that teachers are managing it. And I think that if you guys have questions specifically on how you're structuring your hybrid or remote learning, like throw them in here because we'd love to talk about it. I think if nothing else, it's just emphasizing that there's so many ways to do it. And I think it's finding the balance between meeting students' needs, finding a comfortable avenue that like as a teacher you're used to, and then making sure that all of that is communicated in this like beautiful blending of things, which I am a huge fan of. I do like that Dave Schmitto commented that this is just what you do. You just drop nuggets of information, like truth bombs. I love those. There is so much conversation going on. I am concerned that we won't get to all of them. So I apologize. I'm trying to kind of shift through the many, many things, the comments going on between Facebook and YouTube and Twitter and Twitch and kind of everything in between. We have been live for 46 minutes. And Katelynn and I are loving this conversation, but also very aware that you guys probably have wonderful plans for the rest of your day. So we're going to do like an all call, like a final call. If you've commented on something that we have not addressed, please comment with it again so that we can look at it, because there's just so many comments to sift through. But also if you haven't asked a question that you've been eager to ask, whether it be about the Teach Better team, about what we've discussed so far, about something new that we haven't yet explored, please throw it in the chat and we would love to help as much as possible before we end our time together. Katelynn, before we get into these final questions, can we talk a little bit about what's going on with the team?
Yeah. Oh my gosh. Yes, please.
First off, happy Thanksgiving to those of you celebrating. I know that we have a network all over the world, and a lot of you are listening from all over. However, if you are in the US and celebrating Thanksgiving, please take some time to not only acknowledge the things you're thankful for, but also share with those around you what you are thankful for. Zoom family get-togethers are like kind of what everyone seems to be doing. So take time. If there's nothing, I mean, I've learned so much from Livia, who's on the team, and I know comments a bunch. Livia has shown me how important it is to be thankful and share your appreciation for people, because she does it just so wonderfully. And it always like brightens my day. And I'm like, oh my gosh, one text can make you feel this way. I need to send these more often. So share your appreciation for people. I love, even if you're not celebrating Thanksgiving, you can still, tell people you're thankful for them. So it's fine. And then on the team, we have a Black Friday sale that I just always like to mention, because so many of you post pictures of like your swag that you bought from the Teach Better swag store, or you're like telling me or DMing us about the courses you're taking in the academy, and all of that is available for our Black Friday sale. So you can use the what's the code? I am better. All no spaces, all one word. I am better. And there's 50% off courses, 50% off swag. And there's a cool swag bundle that I really like, and it has an Aspire t-shirt in it that I really want. So I feel like that's going on my list as something I need to get. So just know that that's there. And then I don't know if we're allowed to like drop this information, but we have a course coming out next week. I don't know if anybody allowed to know that or not, but I don't really care. We'll just spill all the beans here. And the new course in the Academy is included in the membership. So that's a cool thing to go check out. And it's by it's kind of a big deal because of the creator of the course, I feel like. So Dave Schmittou made a course. I know. I'm really excited.
OMG. You guys, Dr. Dave is amazing. Y'all, anytime you have an opportunity to learn from Dr. Dave, you better do it.
I am such a fan of literally everything he says or like touches. Like any book he writes, I'm like, oh, I need the Schmittou book, or any like podcast. I'm like, Schmittou. So I am always team Schmittou. And the fact that he put out a course in our Teach Better Academy, it's kind of a big deal. I feel like the earth's going to like shift a little bit when that drops next week. So make sure you're paying attention to celebrate that big thing with us. There is already some comments coming in, so I appreciate that. This is the last call for anything that you guys want us to talk about. Anything on your mind, Katelynn, that's worth noting? I mean, obviously, there's so much going on with the team with blogs and podcasts and the bookshelf and courses and everything in between. The mastermind we've already talked about. Daily drop-ins should be good.
I would just say, like, if anyone needs anything, like, I know that we put out so much support. We put out so much content. We have so many resources for people. But if you're not finding what you need, if you're not getting what you need, we are a family. And if you reach out to any one of us, like, we're there. Legit, like, if you need something, if you're just like, hey, I want to talk through something, reach out to one of us and we'll make it happen. That is what we do. That is who we are. And it's one of those pieces that is why I love the team so much, because that is our mission. That is our goal. If you sent me a message like in 5 minutes and was like, hey, can we like meet up later? I want to talk about this. The answer is always going to be yes. Like, I will find time to talk to you. Chelsea, I know, like, our favorite person, she was like, hey, I don't know like what you did for grades, but I know you know stuff about it. Like, can we talk? And I was like, oh my God, yes. Like, first of all, love you. And her son came in and said hi to me, first of all, which was great. But also, like, that is our mission. That is what we do. Like, I'm always going to say yes to that. And I know you would too, Rae.
Always, always, always. And that's honestly, it goes, again, full circle. That's why the daily drop-ins exist. The daily drop-in exists purely to add consistency, to give you a space to vocalize concerns or questions, and to just brighten your day and make sure you're starting with the positive energy that we really, really need to have a successful day moving forward. If you wake up and you're hit with negativity or you have like an off morning, it's never a great feeling moving into the rest of your day. And we really want to help you be successful, whether it be by helping you brainstorm a hurdle or simply making you laugh. Like, life is too short. We need to work together, not against each other. And so the more that we can support one another in kind of our pursuit of better, the better. It's good. So Jody threw in a question here. She says, my most important question, will the BF, so Black Friday sale, include Zoom with Rae and Katelynn asking for a friend? Jody, we will Zoom with you anytime you want. Katelynn,
oh my gosh.
You know Jody. Jody's like the most wonderful human being on the planet.
I don't think I've interacted with Jody very much, but I really want to now. Okay, so Jody, I'll Zoom with you anytime. You just
I used to work with Jody in earlier in my career, and she is like the perfect bundle of like genius and positivity and passion. Like, if you want to find an educator that will go above and beyond for a student, no matter what, it's Jody. Jody is like an all-star. She's so
love that. Okay, we need to talk. We should do like a Zoom where people like sign up and are like, I just want to talk to you. We should do that.
Wait, so this is like my notes. Okay, do you like my unorganized notes here? So we were making our goals for 2021 for the team, just because, like, guys, it's the new year. Like, we are a business, right? We're setting goals for 2021. Not only like goals of like business stuff, but also goals for the things that are just included in the Teach Better family. And we were popping into an ambassador get together. And the ambassador said one of the goals should be to do another like networking event where we all came together just to talk and hang out. And that is along the same lines of like a specific time where we just all get together and hop on a Zoom call to like hang out, discuss, and build relationships. Like that would be fun.
I'm down.
Yeah.
I like to talk to people. I like to hang out.
I like it. Jody says, let's hang out every day. Don't worry, Jody. We're doing daily drop-ins every single morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, including tomorrow for Thanksgiving and Friday for Black Friday stuff. We are going to be here. So we will see you all at 8:30 Eastern a.m. for like the next month. So we are here. I love it. Olivia's jumping in. Hi, Olivia. We were talking about how great you were. Did you were your ears burning? Is that what happened? She says we have admins writing posts of blog series. Oh, that goes with the course. Cool. So with Dave's course, I didn't even say what it was because I was not going to spoil all of it, but it is a course for leadership. And it's about like leading through empowering others around you. And so I always love to see that not only the course is coming out, which you can obviously take by the incredible Dr. Dave Schmittou, but also we have administrators who are sharing their voice in blogs to publish a course, to publish a blog series that goes with the course, which is exciting. So super, super fun. Chelsea's commenting, so sweet. Oh, see, look at that fangirl. Chelsea, you can't fangirl over family. Like you can fangirl meeting like awesome, cool, like, you know, whatever, those edgy celebrities are like real celebrities. Like, let's be honest, if like
I'm not cool enough for you to fangirl over.
What's a celebrity you would want to meet that would cause you to fangirl? I fangirl over everyone. Like when I met Chelsea, I was like, oh my God, it's Chelsea. But like, what's an appropriate fangirl person? Like I feel like Trevor Noah would be cool to meet and I would totally fangirl over.
So, okay. I think mine would probably be like authors that I love.
Oh.
So, super nerdy, but like when I was at NCTE last year, I saw Jason Reynolds walk down the hallway and I was like, oh my God! Like literally, like I lost my mind.
Yeah.
Like that's the kind of stuff though. Or like I got to meet some of like the people, like my mentors that I've leaned on for the last few years in education. So like I got to meet like Cornelius Minor in person, and him and I have like been connected for a few years, and I've relied on him for a bunch of different things that I've done and just questions. Like he was such a great mentor to me. And so like I got to meet him in person. I totally felt like I fangirled over him because I was like, oh my God, hi, it's so good to meet you. Like,
you know who I would meet and fangirl over? This cool guy right here.
Oh my God, he's so cool. He's got such swag too.
He does.
Just throwing that out there.
Comments too. I'm just saying you need to be on a daily drop-in, Tyson. That's what I'm thinking. Like everything I follow, the work he's doing, I'm like, just saying I would be a dorky fangirl. That would be good. Oh, and this girl right here. Jamie is joining a daily drop-in. I totally, every time I see Jamie, I fangirl. She's so cool.
Nice. Jamie, I want to meet you. Can I fangirl? I want to meet you.
Well, she joins the admin masterminds pretty consistently. And if you, how do I describe Jamie? Like wonderful insight, but she says in a way that calms you. Like Jamie could be talking about the most stressful topic on the planet. And it would be, if Jamie said it, you'd be like, we can get through this. I think there's hope because she just speaks so eloquently.
I love that. Okay, so what I'm hearing is I need to jump into the admin mastermind.
Oh, God. If you're a leader in any sense, and Katelynn, you are, if you consider yourself a leader in education, you have to sign up for the admin mastermind because it's people who are like driven and constantly solution minded. And I think we have that theme throughout the team in so many things that we do. But the admin mastermind is really, if you are a coach, a leader, whether it's in your title or it's just in your mentality, you can register for that at teachbetter.com/mastermind. And it meets twice a day. So if you're like a morning person, you can come in the morning or an afternoon, but just good things. This is all I wanted for the daily drop-in. My day is complete. Done.
We did it.
Done. What is Rae Hughart hanging with the fact that your coffee cup perfectly matches your green stripe? Oh, you think that wasn't intentional? That's cute. No.
Yeah, come on, guys. You know Rae. She planned that.
No. So I have a bunch of these. I don't know if you watch all the daily drop-ins, it's like, what coffee cup is Rae going to use in the morning? And this one, since I joined the Teach Better team, I'm like, oh, that's Teach Better green, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Yeah, matches perfectly.
That's hilarious.
All right. We totally need to get off this this conversation because the comments are still flowing and I'm like, we've been live for an hour. So here's the summary of today. You need to go all connect with Katelynn Giordano because every time you speak, Katelynn, I just get like fired up and I just want to like debate and talk education all of the time. So I love talking to you and it makes me mad at the end of every time we talk because I'm like, Katelynn, we need to do this more often. More often.
I'm in. I'm down.
Gosh, you're just like so busy and you work all the time. What is our time?
Work
in the classroom, work for the Teach Better team. I just can't get enough of you. But for everyone else here, thank you for commenting. You are the reason this conversation went so well. You threw your comments in here. You shared your insight. You participated in activities. We love when you participate in the Daily Drop-In. Do not forget that the Daily Drop-In is not only a bonus episode of Teach Better Talk podcast, but if you ever miss a Daily Drop-In in the morning, you can always catch it on Facebook, Twitter, Twitch, or I think the easiest is to just go to YouTube, and it'll always be saved there for you. Additionally, we are going to be doing this every single morning, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, all the way through the December 18th, including days like Thanksgiving, like tomorrow and Black Friday. We are going to be here and we are going to be joined by incredible guests. You will see Jeff's face this week, Dave Schmitto, Brandon's coming on. We have so many people joining us the following week. Like I'm going to get Tyson on here, but also Jamie is coming on in the next few weeks. We have Kalissa joining us. We have Michael Jennings, Brian Zwemke, just so many incredible people that are popping in to share their voice. So continue to be a part of our Daily Drop-Ins. And just saying, if you're listening right now and you want to be a part of Daily Drop-Ins, like DM me and let's figure out if we have a day open that we can get you on talking. So super, super good.
Do it.
Do it. It's really fun. It's not hard, Katelynn. Do you think these are hard?
No. Literally, you guys, it's so fun. Rae is great to talk to. So is Jeff. Anyone that you go on with is great to talk to, especially Rae. But it's so fun because you just get to answer questions and talk to people like you would if you were together. And it's so nice to do that now.
I do have one last thing that I don't know if you knew this. And so now ending with this makes me so happy. Katelynn, did you know that there is a new item on the swag store with your name on it?
No.
Yeah.
What?
Yep. So if you enjoyed our Daily Drop-In, head over to the Teach Better swag store. Use that 50% off code, by the way, which is I am better. There is now a Team Katelynn shirt that is live. So you can get it in a variety of colors. And of all shirts, I need a Team Katelynn shirt. So I'm all about it. Thank you, everybody that was here. We love you dearly. And we will see you later.